Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a new episode of Mizan podcast. Today's guest is Mr. Nailesh Khimji, who is a shareholder and a board member of Khimji Ramdas family. Nice to meet you, Mr. Nailesh.
Thank you, Maimuna. Nice to meet you as well.
Thank you. Sparing time for intellectual side of matters is so important. We appreciate your time for that. We'll start immediately with asking a question about the introduced significant legislative reforms that are done in Oman. How are that going, in your opinion, to shape a new perspective for Oman?
So since I'm not a lawyer, I cannot give you a legal opinion, but what I can see is what's helping us improve our business with the latest changes. One of the important changes that came in is that now they have a legal system that only focuses on commercial issues. That has been pretty helpful. It's only been a few months now. I think November it started in 25. And that's helping businesses like us use the legal system more efficiently. It used to take a long time for any matter to be solved. And now with this new legislation, I think it will improve and speed up matters.
Since we started with dispute resolution, speaking of the investment in commercial courts system that you refer to, right now we've seen some directions from the chamber, from different gatherings in the business societies in Oman, just lately, last week, about introducing ADR, which is alternative dispute resolution. How do you see this approach?
I think it's very important because it's not always businesses such as us do business with only other Omani companies. We do businesses with global companies from around the world. Most of them would like dispute resolution to be handled in courts such as Singapore or UK or something like that. We've seen lately what's happening with our neighbors is that they have set up new court systems in like free zone areas. I think something like this in Oman, I believe it's coming. I haven't heard officially yet, but I believe it's coming. And that would be very helpful because then arbitration can be done with an international mindset rather than only looking at it as if it's an Omani law.
Right. Not to that local law or law Omani law is less, but we need to keep with the standard that we are targeting, actually.
Yeah.
The investors and the different industries that we're trying to bring into the community in Oman. So my next question is about the family-owned business. Obviously, the Khimji Ramdas is a dynasty and also made major milestones, actually very similar or equivalent to the improvement of Oman and the advancement of Oman through more than 150 years. So for that own family business to be always a cornerstone of Omani economy, with growing discussion about public listing, how do you see this matter as Khimji Ramdas?
I think it's a very good, we want our the Omani stock exchange to be a little more active with what's really happening in terms of the businesses in and around Oman. I didn't see too many family businesses going public and staying public. A lot of them have reversed, gone back into, because it was very difficult legislation, and we sometimes take decisions what's best for the next generation. Shareholders will always want what's best for the end of the year results,
Right.
if it is a public company. So we need to be very clear on if we list ourselves on the stock exchange, make a few of our shares public, will it mean that we have to change the way we are doing business? As you said, we are over 150 years. Actually, it's 156 years this year since we have records. that we've been in Oman. I am proud to be the 5th generation in the company, and we have seen 7 sultans over the 156 years that business has always prospered. It's always becoming better than the year before or the decade before. We have grown to a certain size where I think it is a must for Khimji Ramdas to think of making some public listing, and not because we need to get an infusion of money or cash. We don't depend on banks as it is in any case. We are almost as good as a debt-free company. So the only reason we would go public is to instill a long-term, permanence in a way, so that in the future, family or no family, the business will continue. Whether the family is the majority shareholder or not, it doesn't matter.
So the sustainability part.
Sustainability part, there's always, when you're coming to the next generation, now we're in the 5th and the 6th, 4th, 5th, and 6th that are working together. Not everybody's dreams, at least for the future generations, are to be in a family business. They want to do their own business. They want to do, start an app. They want to do some tech business, like what's happening around the world, become a global citizen somehow. Maybe they don't want to stay in the family business. They want to exit.
So
and
to
if you keep it public,
right,
like the way we are, I think this is an avenue for them to make a decision going forward, whether they want to stay in the family business or not.
right.
So I think it's very important. We should do it, but legislation has to make it easy for us to do it. For example, we're thinking about it seriously. One of the main issues that we have is the company has over 40 businesses.
Right.
Okay, they're all distributed into 4 clusters, and but many CRs. Now, which one do you take public? And what happens to the rest of the CRs?
Right.
Even though the main company will go public, does that mean the other CRs are not public? So they will not get the same advantage. I've seen all the benefits of going public, and I've seen what the government is offering. Tax rebates, special treatment when it comes to public tenders and all that. I think it's a very nice, reason to consider it, and seriously. But the thing is, we need to structure in a way. Government also has to be accepting the fact that these are all legacy businesses. They were not structured to go public.
Right.
They need to be restructured in a way. Now, if I want to restructure and merge 2 businesses or start a new one and transfer all the shares into things, I will end up with fees from Ministry of Commerce, from Ministry of Labor, from Ministry of so many fees that will just mean I'm going to spend a few million riyals or a few 100,000 riyals just to make it ready to go public. I mean, it's just waste of money,
right,
and time. So they need to find ways to change the legislation to make that part, the reason we're doing it, clear and easy to do, and not charge us anything for it.
Yes, especially that is a national and mandate to go public for some of the family business. This brings me to a few questions that came from this point.
Yeah.
The first question is the diversity that the family has made. Can you describe those decision making, because they are 5 generation decision made? There's a process, there is a criteria for diversifying your business in the company.
Yeah. So there is the way we are expanding. That's what you mean. We are not diversifying our business. We are expanding the regions that we do the same business in.
Okay.
So our core businesses are those 4 clusters that we talk about, which is the consumer cluster, the infrastructure cluster, the luxury and lifestyle cluster, and the projects and logistics cluster. These are the 4 businesses that we are in. If somebody asks me, what does Khimji Ramdas do? We are supply chain. We move one product from here to there, whether it's from the port, airport, or seaport to the consumer. Whatever process that happens in between, we handle.
Right.
So that's what we do. We're supply chain. And whether it comes to consumer goods, whether it comes to infrastructure goods, whether it comes to luxury and lifestyle goods, or if it comes, and that the last cluster is projects and logistics. Logistics is part of what we do. So when you say we're expanding, yes, we're expanding regionally and doing the same things, because this is our core competency and this is what we're really strong at. And we don't want our business to lose focus just because we want to expand. It's not because we want to expand, because most of our principals who see what we do in Oman feel that we are the best of class, probably in the region, or if not in the world, on doing something special the way we do it, and whether it's ethically or whether it's the way we do it. So they are the ones who are telling us, can you take us to Saudi? Can you take us to UAE? Can you do something for us in India? So this is what we're doing. That's how we're expanding.
Yeah, Mr. Nailesh, you mentioned the ethics.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something that is in the DNA of Khimji Ramdas. What is that make it expand and also succeed still locally?
So, as I already mentioned before, it's 156 years for a company to sustain and grow for 156 years. It's not sustain and just stay small.
Right.
Every year we grow. Why we grow? Because we want the next generation also to feel that the business, because they will dilute the shares eventually for when there's more shareholders. And so we want the business to grow in a certain multiples, of certain multiples, so that the smaller share is equivalent to today's large share.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is the reason we want it to grow. And when we say ethics is our culture and ethics in the business, both. Ethics is not doing anything wrong, always being in the right, never going against the law for any reason. In Oman, even though we say we have what they call statutes of limitations, where in a few years, if it is something you've done commercially wrong or something wrong, that in a few years, if you haven't complained, it's finished, it's over.
Right.
I don't believe in this. In our part of the world, even if you've done something wrong 50 years ago, it will come and bite you.
Right.
Okay, so forget about this. So ethics has to be so clear that forget about you, your next generation doesn't have to worry about it. Okay, whatever decisions you've made, none of the future generation should ever suffer from that decision. So this is number one. That's ethics. Culture is making sure that every employee and the family treat each other in a very good way. None of them should feel that they are really there as a job. They should feel like they're part of the extended family. Right. And so we have employees that have been working for us for 3 generations.
Wow.
And it's amazing, because someone who starts at a very low position, their next generation is in a management position. The third generation is like a really senior, heading a large development. Right. So this
brings a small question about the culture. Some setups, okay, with the culture is so embedded in the organization. They have the stamina to deal with the surrounding. They'll go outside, external factors. They see people with maybe no culture entities. How to handle that?
So we have all been educated abroad. From probably 12, 14 years of age. And the reason for that is because we want all the next generation to be global citizens. It's not just understanding what Oman is all about. That is a must. That you, in the first 12 to 14 years, it will be injected into your bloodstream, so you'll be fine. What does the rest of the world think of our part of the world? How do they react when they are put into a certain position or in a question in a certain way, how do you react back? In order to be understanding cultures from across the world, you need to be embedded in that upbringing. So once we have educated ourselves and our future generations in a way that they understand how a person from Japan thinks, how a person from the US thinks, how a person from Spain thinks, or Africa thinks, or Australia thinks, it will be easy for you to
So he has more resilience.
And you will also be able to take the best of from each civilization, from each culture, and try to implement it into your business or into your way of thinking and of the way of doing.
To close this topic, I must ask a question about the fact that the Khimji Ramdas family seen 6 sultans, 7 sultans. It's a unique situation. With the culture change, the political, sphere change, to maneuver or embark every time into a new ruling system.
You have to be adaptive. You have to be able to adapt to all the situations. And you're talking about 7 generations ago. What was there in Oman? What was the businesses at that time? Who were we trading with? We're always been traders. And again, it's supply chain. We used to bring goods from India or Africa to Oman and exchange. There's no cash at that time. It's exchange with barter with goods. So at that time, what did Oman have to offer? It was dates and lime. And our ancestors would not touch the fish, which is the dried fish, which is very famous also. So you would trade the lime with Iran and the dates with India. In exchange, you would bring goods from India or Africa, and that's. And now, today, the trading is no longer a barter system. It is much more organized, and what the people need today is totally different. So all the brands that we represent, all the products that we represent, or the businesses that we do, have actually evolved through time over what the needs of the people were. Whether it's the leadership or whether it's the people of Oman, we will adopt accordingly what is required at that time.
I think what you've just explained right now makes us predict that maybe when we go IPO, so many people will be having emotional decision or loyalty decision related to the legacy of Khimji Ramdas, and we hope it is oversubscribed. It become like a token, not only a shareholder. Okay, so my next question is relating to banks. You mentioned that you are a debt-free entity almost, but banking system is part of any economic system in any place. How do you assess the current regulatory framework governing investment banking, especially that we've seen a few months ago that there is a activation of the Investment Bank of Oman, and the funding system, right now we have so many opportunities that relate to long-term usufructs and so on, and at the same time funding cycles. How do you see that?
So as I said, we're in a fortunate position today that our business is self-sustaining. We've taken the right decisions in the past not to be a debt-ridden company. We have as good as zero debt. Whatever expansion we do is with our own funds. Banking facilities we use are only for your day-to-day LCs and bank guarantees and stuff kind of thing, never any loans. So that's a huge advantage. When it comes to your question about investment banking, it is fantastic that we have a whole new structure for investment banking for people who want to start new businesses and follow the guidelines of the Vision 2040, for example. And if you want to implement a new business which is to do with alternative energy or whatever it is, you will need an investment bank to facilitate your entry into that field. Oman and in the region, name lending is the major issue. So if I or if the family will request a bank that I need to start a solar farm, I need 10 million riyals. The bank will not think twice. They will give it to us. Why? Because they know our track record, and then we also have enough businesses here to sustain that kind of. They have a guarantee, in a way. When it's a new customer, they need to learn how to assess the business, the project.
Right.
They need to have the right experience to be able to say, we're ready to put this much money, bank this project with this much funds on the business, not on the person.
Right.
The person is a new graduate who's come with his master's or PhD in solar farming.
Right.
Okay, and he has the knowledge and the education to speak for itself, but he doesn't have the experience. So then you're in a catch-22. The bank is like, should I? He has never done any business. What if he fails? What if? This is where
And evaluate the risk.
You have to be able to evaluate the project and understand the background of the person. It's not his past history, because all these new projects are going to be with young, new, educated people.
Yeah.
And so you need to be able to bank them. You cannot look at their history. What has he done? What bank guarantee will he provide? Whether he has a personal guarantees, forget it. Nowhere in the world personal guarantees are asked for like the way they are being asked for in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way you describe the banking and how this should be evaluated always reminds me of angel investors. Okay.
In a way.
Yes, and venture capital. How is Khimji Ramdas appetite or just the philosophy behind this?
Not our core business.
Really?
We're very clear. If it is not our core business, we will not divert our attention. Number one, we have a skill set in the business that only focuses on supply chain, and that's what we are good at.
Right.
Starting a whole new business means we need to have a whole new team and a whole new understanding of that. We don't have the appetite for it because it's much easier for us to grow regionally in what we do best rather than to reinvent the wheel in something new.
Right. Also, you might be part of the full 360 circle by being a supplier or eventually a client.
Of course.
Not necessarily
Already do.
Yeah, so
Already
not
do.
everyone.
All the large projects that happen around the country, for example, the wind farms and all that they're creating, all these huge pieces of equipment that they need to set it up, we're one of the only ones who can move these kind of equipment around in the country. So we have these prime movers that move huge, how do you say, the windmills, the fans and
Right.
and the blades and all that. They are huge. I mean, it's like 50 to 100 meters long. So you need to block the road for 3 days to reach
For safety.
the site.
Right.
So we do a lot of this in any case. So we are involved in the logistics part.
Right. Banking is something which is not in your, from our discussion right now, but you had a story about opportunity that came up in the past and it wasn't your thing.
So historically, we have records, or we found records. We had them verbally before, and then we found them in the British archives. So we found the documents that the reason that we were denied a banking license in the 40s, I think it was after World War II, could be late 40s, early 50s, when my grandfather requested His Majesty Said for permission to open a bank. And of course, it was accepted at that time. And then under the British, we were denied. We didn't understand it, and I don't know how much they must have followed up, and then they must have given up. Then 50 years after that, when the documents were declassified in the British archives, we saw those records where the permission was denied from the I don't know what you call the British person who was based in India at that time, who was the viceroy or whatever. The thing was, the reason it was denied was because they had already had an agreement with the Shah of Iran that there will be only one bank in the region. And they didn't want to cross that agreement, so they denied us. But of course, they didn't tell us why.
Okay, so if we didn't have this...
we would have had a bank today.
Right, we had a bank.
Successful or not, we don't know, but we would have had a bank.
Right. Okay, so this brings us to a question about public-private partnership. After 2020, a lot of opportunities are brought up. The industry has changed. Oman Vision 2040 made long-term partnership projects by private sector. How's Khimji Ramdas' role in this? Since you've done it again and again through the history.
I mean, the Vision 2040 is very clear about how the country is going to be heading, in which direction it's going to be heading. Our infrastructure, our setup is such that we can expand in all directions in any case to help the local economy. So our infrastructure cluster, our projects and logistic cluster is very active in making sure that we are part of the Vision 2040, and we invest accordingly and grow our expertise in those directions, in that way.
Right.
So yeah, we are very active, but we have, if you ask us what are we done specifically for 2040, I mean, apart from we are busy helping the port expansion of all the ports. We're doing all the dredging. We're doing all the port services. The logistics, of course, we're already doing.
We're speaking about aviation or marine?
Marine.
Right.
Aviation at the moment is still very monopolistic. We have only two airlines which are government-owned or semi-government owned.
And this is caters for the zones also that are already...
The free zones.
Yeah, that are roll out in Oman, right? This brings me to a question about the human resources and leadership style. Every country has its identity about how they run business. The board's compositions in Oman. What's your take as also a trader, as you said, and also as Khimji Ramdas family member?
What's my take on
how the board compositions, the approach of leadership, board memberships in different setups?
So I mean, like my role at the moment in Khimji Ramdas since I joined, which was 94. So you're talking about a good 36 years or 32 years now that I've been in the business. My role has always been to focus on professionalizing the way business is done or decisions are taken in the family board and the family business. We have probably since 99 changed the way we think from being a family-run business to being a family-owned business. We have detached the family members from taking day-to-day decisions as they used to in the past. And now we have employed non-family professionals to manage those 4 clusters. Of course, they report to the family members, but the family members are not the ones who are taking the day-to-day decisions. And the reason for that is you detach decision-making and responsibilities, because if you are the family member and you've taken a wrong decision, chances are nothing's going to change and you will continue to run the business the way you are. Nobody's going to come and tell you that you've done it wrong and you've
the accountability.
If someone does, it will create a huge family dispute between the family members in the business, and that's not good for continuity. It's not that it's not happened. I mean, we're 6 generations. It's common to have disagreements, but we need to be able to have way of settling these disagreements. So one of the way to do it is that since you're not accountable and you're not going to be fired if you make a wrong decision, you're never worried about making a wrong decision. So don't make that decision.
Right.
We won't allow you to make that decision. So you're never being wrong about making a decision. You never have to be fired for making a wrong decision that will do harm to the business. We have started employing professionals, and professionals are accountable for their decisions and their business reasoning. And even if they are being appointed and put in those positions, they have to report to a family board member, and that family board member's direction has to be, if there is, they come up with an idea. If a family member comes up with an idea and gives it to the COO of the business, the CEO, it is their role to understand what was asked for by the family member, to see whether it is viable, and to see whether the bottom line is worth making this decision. If it is not, they can say no.
Right.
But if it is and they do it, they are the ones who are given a pat on the back of on their back, saying well done, and here's the bonus.
So,
but if they fail, it's their fault, even though they got the idea from a director. But why did you accept it? Why didn't you do a proper due diligence?
So this is accountability.
Accountability.
Yes.
And so and distract and removing family members from taking day-to-day decisions.
When did the Khimji Ramdas family made establish regulatory framework for governance and in-country value?
In-country value, long time. But when it comes to governance, at least since 99.
Right.
We have a structure where how we organize and who takes how we take the decisions. So it's evolving. It's always going to change. Now at that time we were the fourth generation who was taking fourth and fifth generation making that decision. Today we have even the sixth generation. Mm-hmm. So now things are evolving, and maybe they want in the future to be able to change the way things are being taken. But at that time, we will see. But so far, it's been since 99.
Right.
And when it comes to ICV, the Sur pipeline was one of those projects that His Majesty Said joint ventured with my grandfather to bring water from far away into the village of into the village of Sur. And so that whole pipeline project was like an ICV in a way.
Right. That was in which year?
Before I was born, probably in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And 50s or 60s, I'm not sure. But
and of course,
it's historic. And that since then, we've been doing a lot of stuff for Oman. And, in the earlier days, we always used to say your left hand should not know what the right hand is doing when it comes to charity or ICV or whatever you call it.
Right.
So it was only about 10 years or so ago when we decided to formalize the way we do it. It was run very haphazardly before. We used to get letters from the sheikhs of the interiors, from, walis, from this, saying, can you help here, can you help there? So we used to give. Mm-hmm. In the old days. Now, since then, we said, okay, let's run it like one part of our, organization, not like anybody can approach any director and no, we focus everything. So we formed Ishraqa.
Ishraqa, yeah.
And that government has been very kind, realized the benefit that we have given to the country from what the activities that we've done, and converted our license, our company, our Ishraqa into a foundation, which is a very rare thing to get these days, and we were very fortunate to have been approved to make it into an official foundation. So at the moment we're focused, we are running it, I wouldn't say like a business, but in the decision makings are very well organized so that we continue to help the country in a way that it's now public news. It's not private and kept confidential. No.
Right. It's very interesting that we close our episode today with Ishraqa. Ishraqa means in Arabic the light or hope. And this is very important for every society. I know that Ishraqa now dedicate time and resources to particular projects or particular wilayats in Oman and continue that way. I want to close today's episode with a final message that comes from the family of Khimji Ramdas, a lesson that was always carried from a generation to the next generation.
You know, one thing, actually, there's two lessons that my father gave me, and maybe I can share it, but it's probably common knowledge. Number one, never go to meet somebody when you need something. Okay? You only go meet people to build a relationship. That way, your door is never closed. This is first lesson, a very important lesson. The second one, it's my father had a reasoning for all these things. So he says, it doesn't matter if you don't attend the wedding, but the most important thing is go attend the funeral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually,
these are all relationship building pointers. You know, they're not. This is really long-term thinking.
Right. I don't have further words to close the episode better than what we heard right now. Thank you so much, Mr. Nailesh Khimji.
Thank you.
And for our also viewers, I think they have very interesting insights today.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maimuna.